So this is the mono whitelist that Andre Maguchi was running. I think this was also run by VTCLA. What's his name? Baker Neelan or something. I forget the guy's name. Not much to say about the list, honestly. It's mostly the same as the mono whitelist that from Standards of Yore. We have the same core, basically. We have 4 copies of Luminarch Aspirant. We have 4 copies of Clarion Spirit, 4 copies of Usher of the Fallen, which might be the best one drop in Standard right now. Maul of the Skyclaves to get a little bit of evasion, which is pretty good when the meta is full of mono green, which it is right now, and probably pretty bad when the meta is full of Izzet, especially with Izzet decks that are starting to bring back Prismari Command as an answer to Asika's Chariot, which also just incidentally hits a bunch of our 2 or less toughness creatures and the artifacts. Code Spell Cleric is also just a concession that we don't have many great 1-drops available. If we're not playing that as our second spell on the turn, it's just a 1/1 for 1, which is pretty mopey. But we did get some new toys. With the new set, Innistrad Midnight Hunt, we got 4 copies of Adeline Resplendent Cathar, who is an X4, power equal to the number of creatures that we control. And whenever we attack, we get a 1/1 white human creature that's tapped and attacking for free. So it's a pretty sweet 3-drop, and just grows as the game goes on. So it can start to dominate the board pretty effectively. We have 4 copies of Fateful Absence, which is probably one of the better removal spells in Standard at the moment. 2 mana, destroy any creature, any planeswalker is pretty good. And the only downside is that you end up giving your opponent a clue token, which we've seen in older formats with cards like Declaration and Stone is not that huge a problem. It's not great when you're up against like these ramp decks that actually have a ton of mana to be able to crack the clue, and basically you're drawing the opponent a card. But if you're up against another aggro deck, which is where you really want this, as a tempo play, it's not that bad. And we have 4 copies of Chaplain of Alms, which is just a 1/1 for 1 with First Strike, which is not bad. It also has Ward 1, which can kind of be annoying to the control decks of the format. But especially annoying is that it's a recursive threat that you can play when you're tapped out, when you have nothing left. And it also gives, once you bring it back, it becomes Chapel Shield Geist, which gives all your other stuff Ward 1 as well. So just an annoying card. That's what we're kind of trying to do with this deck. We're trying to get cheap little creatures into play and kill the opponent before they execute their ramp plan. This deck has not done very well in the tournament setting. Right now, it's mono green and it's Izzet turns, and that's basically it. Nothing else is playable at the tournament level. But hopefully on the arena ladder, we can get somewhere with it. Okay, so 1 lander on the play is probably not keepable, although like most of our hand is just 1 mana spells. The Codespell Cleric is going to be pretty awful if we don't ever draw our second land. I think you can make a decent argument to keep this, but I'm going to mull it. This is better. I think we're keeping this, and it's got to be either the Clarion Spirit or the Aspirant that we're putting back. Clarion Spirit, of course, gets worse when you're on the mull. I think I'm down to put the Clarion Spirit back and just have a 1-2-3 curve like this. The Boast can also be a decent curve filler at some point. I'm not sure when we would ever use that. Turn 1 Island is kind of frightening. But we're just going here. Do you think mono white beats green? I think it probably depends a lot on the list. I think that this matchup is very hard, but we get there anyway. That's odd, right? Like, what deck plays Island, Mountain, and then just concedes to this? That's probably premature. So it's probably the Izzet Turns deck. So we definitely want our Redains. We want all 4 copies of Spellbinder. Savior is like okay, but I think if we're ever getting to turn 5 to cast this, then we're probably way too far behind for it to matter. I think the Fateful Absences can all go until we see evidence that they have like Smoldering Egg or something like that. And we need to make 2 more cuts here. What should they be? It's probably the Mauls. realistically. Like, we brought in a bunch of extra 3-drops already. The Mauls are especially vulnerable to targeted removal and Prismari command, which it's not impossible that the opponent has. In fact, maybe what we're supposed to do is bring in these Dawn Guards and take out all of the Mauls and try to be a little grindier. Especially on the draw. Maybe on the play we bring back in 2 Mauls and take out these Dawn Guards, but on the draw we want to be a little more grindy. I think I can buy that. But I think the 5-drop is just too slow. Okay. I guess we have to mold this one too. Better, and we can pretty clearly just put back one of these Adelines, I think. It is pretty sad that we're going to end up playing this Cleric on 1, but we are going to play the Cleric on 1. No sense holding it. Okay. This opponent's having some mana troubles. There's no way you'd play Field of Ruin there otherwise. If they had red, they'd probably play it, right? We're definitely playing the Aspirant here. The question is, what are we pumping? And I think it's the Cleric. I think we just need to push as much damage as we possibly can and try to capitalize on them stumbling on mana early. There's also... I gave some thought to, like, pumping the Aspirant and try to get it out of range of their burn removal. But I think we're still a little too slow for that. Okay. So they can't use their Field of Ruin on these snow-covered plains to fix their mana, which is pretty nice. We have some choices here, right? Like, we can either play Spellbinder pre-combat, and if they have, like, Fading Hope or something, forcing them to use that before we make our decision with the Luminarch. We can also play Adeline, and just go a little wider with the board. Which I think I like. The next turn, if we draw untapped land, we can Adversary and pump the team with that. Are we scared of anything next turn? On turn 4, they've got, like, Memory Deluge and stuff. But I think we're fine with them casting Deluge. They could have a counter spell, I guess, like Divide by Zero or something. That would be a reason to play the Spellbinder instead. Okay. So in that case, we'll go to combat. I ran out of time. Full control. Stopped. I don't want it to skip the rest of my turn. So, like, now if they divide by 0, yeah. I would have pumped the Aspirant if the game hadn't auto-decided it for me. But now we're just going to play the Spellbinder. Alright, so they have Cathartic Pyre, they have Alrund's Epiphany, they have Deluge. They don't have any red. They will have red with Environmental Sciences. I think we're just taking Pyre. Trying to kill him. Next turn we draw untapped land, we can play Adeline and Codespell Cleric. And get in. Nothing? Okay, so they're going to Deluge and try to... and foretell Alrund's Epiphany. This is acceptable. Next turn... They're probably going to find red going 4 deep with the Memory Deluge and having another draw off the top of the deck, right? So probably our Aspirant is going to die. Or something is going to die to this Cathartic Pyre. Alright, we're going to play the Adeline. We're going to play the Codespell Cleric. And next turn, we're going to multi-kick the Adversary. Sure. Okay. Actually, yeah, no, it's the Codespell Cleric here. I was thinking maybe the Ward would be relevant, knowing that they have the Burn spell in hand. Spire's gonna do 3 damage. There's no way we can pump anything out of that thing's range. I think I just want to distribute these counters. I want to get as much damage in as possible. And I want them to have a terrible choice to make here, but about what to kill. If they did find the red. They didn't take too long making their decision. I was pretty sure they found the red. Yeah, okay. So now you get to kill something, but you don't get to kill Adeline. If you kill the Aspirant, we're attacking for 4, 9, 10, 11, which is lethal on its own. This feels pretty good. Okay, they foretell Epiphany. Okay. They made their land drop for the turn, so even if they have like Galvanic Iteration or Galvanic whatever it is, they could have that plus Fading Hope, and I still think they're dead to the multi-kicker? Yeah, okay. Sweet. 1-0. Not much of a game there against Izzet. I still think they scooped way too early on turn 1. I can't imagine what their cards were that was okay for them to do. It's weird playing all these decks today that have creatures in them. I feel dirty. Yeah, I mean, as hands on the draw go, this one isn't too bad. We'd love to draw a 1-drop. But we can't send this back. Even if we had even if we mulligan for a 1-drop, there's a good chance it would get stuffed. Okay. What's this transform into again? 3/3? That's not bad. Okay. This matchup seems terrible. This seems just truly, truly awful. We're not absencing anything here. This Aspirant's gonna die. But next turn we can play... I don't know, we can play Absence plus Cleric. They're just so good at killing our stuff and putting crap in our way, and we're just so bad at getting around that. I didn't even notice they milled Skyclave Shade. What? They have a pump spell? Like, if we block the Death Bonnet Sprout, what they're saying is they have, like, Snakeskin Veil or something? They play Snakeskin Veil plus Skyclave Shade this turn? Okay, no blocks. I believe you. That attack is just so weird otherwise. Alright. So, I probably should have played the Faceless Haven there. Wasn't thinking. We play one thing, it's just gonna... Like, if we play the Adeline, it's just gonna die here, right? Like, very clearly. They chose not to play the Skyclave Shade, even though they could have. So they have a kill spell of some kind. Okay, we'll just go to combat then. Oh, I guess that was a possibility. Okay. This isn't so bad either. And... I guess we're putting it on the Cleric, because they want to kill the adversary. Although this makes it harder for them to block this. Okay, we'll put it here. Put it on the lifelinker, don't overthink it. Next turn, we can play... We can multi-kick this once. Pump the team. Depends what they do. What is this deck? So, Fateful Absence... Depends what they do. Can we kill the token and then kill Ren? Is what I want to know. We kill the token, we attack Ren with everything. They can block the adversary. We pump the cleric, we get in. Okay. Yeah, okay. So they can block, yeah, they can block like this. They'll trade the gas for the adversary, but we get to kill Ren and we get to keep building our board. Yeah, this is unfortunate, but like fine. And now we get to play the adversary and we get to play Adeline or activate the Faceless Haven next turn if we want. This transforms to a 3/3, sure. What are you gonna do? They are unfortunately at 20. And it's going to be very hard to get through there, I think. Skyclave Shade's not, like, super threatening. It can't block us. I wonder if they're going to play it or not. They are. Okay, so they think they can kill us. They have 2 Shades, so maybe they can. We can pump the Faceless Haven and attack. If we do, then... I'm getting in for a lot. But if we play Adeline here, we're guaranteed to get value off of it. And we'll be able to attack with it next turn. Yeah, I'm going to play Adeline here. And what are we pumping? It's probably the Cleric, right? So that we can attack with everything, and anything they block with the Hulk is a trade. Am I fine with them blocking the Aspirant if I attack with it? Probably, right? Like, we'll be getting in for a lot of damage if we do that. And the Faceless Haven is coming. No blocks. Not even blocking the 1/1. Okay. Okay. So they have 2 blockers if this stays back. Okay. I mean, we're going for it. Yeah. If they have a removal spell, I think they're still dead. Cool. That matchup seems really, really hard. Like, it seems like this is like tailor-made to beat up on mono white. So what don't we like here? I think the Mauls are pretty bad, especially on the draw, against a deck that's going to be full of kill spells. I think the Skyclave Apparitions are probably going to be good. This is a deck that we can probably beat even if it goes super late. So I think I'm more interested in the Saviors here than I was against Izzet. Spellbinder doesn't seem great. I think we're in for like a super grindy game here. So knowing that, I kind of want to bring in these Dawn Guards for something. I'm just not sure what. I definitely do want them, though. Adeline, I think, is going to have a hard time getting through. Maybe... It seems so weird to cut this, though. I don't want to cut any 1-drops. They showed us Ren, so, like, Fateful Absence is probably still important to keep in the deck. But maybe we don't need 4. Like, a lot of their stuff seems to actively want to die anyway. Okay. We'll cut 2 of these and keep 2 of them around as an answer for Ren. The Cathar is nice against, like, the Ren tokens if a Ren does resolve. I'm not sure how to board, but we'll try this. Actually, I have a sideboard guide right in front of me. I don't know what I'm doing. Although, there's no sideboard guide for this random Golgari list. This isn't the worst. I doubt, like, we're actually getting in with our 1-drops here, but I think we need them to put pressure on. This has Ward 1. Could make their life a little awkward, but I think we're just playing the bigger creature. Pumping it with the Aspirant, trying to get through. Skyclave Shade, so they're coming for us. Apparition's a good draw against that. Wonder if they block with the Eye Switch or not. They do. They fetch Sciences, sure. It's like, Shade is a weird one to keep in against us, right? Because it can't block. They're probably, like, we're the beatdown. Skyclave Shade is probably not something they want to keep in against us. I wouldn't think. I would probably board it out. You're never in a million years blocking that. So we have options here. Like, we can Skyclave Apparition to Shade and be done with it. The Apparition probably dies in that case. And it gives them a 2/2 that they can block with. Alright, we'll go to combat first, see what they do. Okay, they don't have anything. Like, they want to kill this Aspirant in the worst way, right? So probably... I probably want to put the counter on the thing that isn't the Aspirant. And now we'll play the Apparition on the Shade. Make it harder for them to replay it. And now if they kill the Apparition, then we still get to attack with the Giant Creature the following turn. Because they only get a 2/2 back. How does one make a sideboard? I vaguely remember being asked this question. I'm not sure if my answer got through before my power went out. I will... ask me that question after this game is over. When I'm not thinking through lines. Because I want to make sure you get a good answer. So they play Chariot. So we can just dump our hand if we want. But I think I'd rather have the multi-kicker here with the adversary. Like, they're still a turn away from being able to Blood on the Snow. And we push a ton of damage in the meantime. Yeah, let's do this. And... how do we want to pump our creatures here? We can pump the Apparition. If they block with both cats, we kill both cats, they get a 2/2. Which I think is fine. Like, we actually kind of want the Apparition to die anyway, because if they kill it with Blood on the Snow, they get their token. And I'm not attacking with the Aspirant, whether I put the counter there or not. So they can double block the Usher too, I suppose. This is fine. Next turn we can Chaplain. Also attack with the Faceless Haven if we're feeling frisky. Round in 7, okay. So they get to make their Tree Folk. And hopefully we draw our, what's it called? The, what is it? It's the thing with Sauron on it. The 2-mana kill spell. Fateful Absence. It does suck to block the Chariot here, right? If they get to attack with the Chariot next turn, I think we're just done. Do we have any way of, like, getting through these Tree Folk tokens? Not really, realistically. So let's say we don't. Let's say we power up the Faceless Haven and attack next turn. Block, we get in for 7. No, we don't. We don't even do that. We get in for, like, less. I don't think we win if we block the Chariot here. I don't think we win at all. Like, they had Chariot into Ren and we didn't kill them quickly enough. But, okay. So anything we can hit here? What 2-drops can we hit? Or what 3-drops can we hit here? Has to be a creature. Could hit another Apparition. Another Apparition would hit the Chariot, but we wouldn't be able to cast it. So it's got to be a true 2-drop or less. It's got to be a creature. Nothing here, really. That said, attacking with Faceless Haven doesn't seem like it's going to get the job done. I think we're supposed to... I was going to say, I think we're supposed to have the... we're supposed to have the Elite Spellbinders in the deck to get through this, but even they can't get through the reach, right? Like, even if we had them all with the Skyclaves, nothing here is really getting through. I don't want to trade the Adversary. I think we're pumping the Usher. And... like... we can attack, but it doesn't really accomplish anything. They just trade. Chariot attacks next turn. Actually, I think we do attack. And I think we ignore Ren. I think if they untap twice from here, we lose. So killing Ren isn't realistic. I think we just need to try to kill them as quickly as we possibly can. And if they have to tap down their 5/5 to attack with the Chariot this turn, hopefully that leaves them vulnerable in the crackback to dying. Like, if we rip Fateful Absence off the top, we attack with Faceless Haven, then in combat, use the Faceless Haven mana to cast Fateful Absence, kill one of their blockers, and then hopefully get there. That's probably the way we win this game. We are, like, very screwed to almost any card they... could possibly have. Okay. Sure. All right. Okay, I'll pause the video to deal with your sideboard question. All right. So 2-0 with mono white. Let's see if we can go 3-0. And that goes for anyone in chat, by the way. If you want to talk to me about Magic, I'm happy to do it. In Discord, that is. On the play, love it. Usher of the Fallen on the play, love it. Okay. That's pretty nice. We do want to draw land pretty badly. We're facing another mono-green opponent. But we're just going to be as aggressive as we possibly can be. Which probably would have been doing this pre-combat and pumping this a little bigger, right? But maybe we want the Vigilant threat to be bigger. Okay. Will I teach you to play Magic? Okay, sure, nerd girl. I'm sure I have something to teach you. Only if you teach me draft. So there's Pack Leader, and this is going to be kind of tough to deal with, realistically. We don't handle the 3 toughness creatures all that well. So probably what we're going to have to do is play this, pump this to a 3/3, and try to attack with the Vigilant creature. We need to put some kind of pressure on them, or they will just overwhelm us with card advantage. This matchup does seem, like, pretty tough. We would love like Luminarch Aspirant here. Maul of the Skyclaves would be particularly good. Some way to pump up the first striker, just in general, would be pretty good. Instead, we draw land. So what to do here? What happens if we attack out with everything except the 1/1s? Attack here. Say they trade here. We're happy with that. Otherwise, we get in for 3. They block here and eat our 2/1. We can make a 1/1 off of it. That's not great. Okay. I guess we just have to be patient and attack with just 3/3. This time they trade. Okay. Okay, Nerd Girl, I do need you. How do I deal with combat tricks? They're in standard again. Alright, so we can draw any of our 4 copies of Fateful Absence to deal with the pack leader as well. Which is probably what it's going to take. They can attack with the 6 power right now if they want. Yeah, this is going to be rough. Okay. Maybe we're supposed to hold this to be able to cast 2 spells in a turn, but I think we just multi-kick this. Try to pump our stuff. I still don't think we can attack, realistically, right? It's like, say we attack here, they block, we get in for... They block here, we get in for just, like, 4. Or we're kind of just dying on the crackback. We do have the 4/2 lifelinker. I talked myself into it. I'm going for it. We want to get them low in case we draw, like, Maul with the Skyclaves or something. This is fine. Maybe we're not supposed to attack with the Clarion Spirit specifically. Because we want to make the flyers off of it, but like at the same time, we're a long way from ever being able to double spell, so probably not. So it's like Maul or bust here. If we do find Sky Maul and put it on the adversary, then I think we're actually kind of okay. Unless they find Ren. Which they're pretty likely to do, now that they're attacking with the pack leader here. Okay, so Sky Maul gets us in for 6. Sky Maul's lethal, right? Oh no, because they get another blocker off the chariot. So they can block us on the ground no matter what. Yeah, we're just taking 8. But Sky Maul makes a big lifelinky threat that needs to be answered, and they don't have many reach creatures in the deck. Like, Ren is the only thing. How do we feel about that? I don't think that's good enough, but maybe. That, no way. That concession can't possibly be right. There's just no way. Okay. Sure. So this is like mono green, but rampier. They've got the Sculptor of Winter package. I think Skyclave Apparition is probably pretty good. Redain is like reasonable. Spellbinder seems good. We are on the draw. A lot of these little crappy creatures are probably never ever getting in. I always find sideboarding with this kind of list so difficult, but I do, as I said, have a sideboard guide written by Andrea Mengucci himself. What does he say to do? He says not to bring in the Spellbinders, which is interesting. Wants to bring in the Cathars, which makes sense. Wants to bring in the Apparitions, which makes sense. And he wants to take out the Clerics, Which makes sense. So that's what I was saying, right? There's no way that these things are ever getting through. And take out one of the adversaries. It makes less sense to me, but something got to go. And I'm not sure what it should be otherwise. I guess it would probably be Adeline if I was going to cut anything. It's like down to these two, I would probably cut one of them. And this is just such a huge mana sink. Yeah, I buy it. I'm not going to second guess Mango. Sure. It's a 1-2-3. You hear he's decent? Yeah, no, I'm a huge Mango fan. But he has been, like, lately just screwing around playing bad standard decks. That's a lot of land. I'd be happy if we didn't draw another land for the rest of the game. Three and 0 with mono white. Okay. I'm baffled, but I guess we'll take it. How bad could the hand have been that he kept? He hit his land drops, or they hit their land drops. Like, all right, sure.